Today, we're going to talk about why willpower doesn't work and what I've done to overcome temptations in my house and have been able to lose 27 pounds in 11 months, over 50 years old in the process. Hey everyone, I'm Suzanne, and if you don't know me, I am almost 52 years old, and over the last couple years, it's been really difficult for me to lose any kind of weight. I could never figure out why, but back in December of 2023, I was able to figure out what I needed to change in order to be able to start my weight loss journey. Now, one of the things that I noticed as I was going through this weight loss journey was that I was not going to be able to rely on willpower, meaning I could not, in my own strength, overcome daily temptations. For instance, I would have chocolate in my cupboard. I have my own special cupboard with all my own snacks, and I always had chocolates in there, like little Hershey Kisses or some sort of chocolate bars. And even though I would try to just eat those in moderation, what I found was I would be sitting there in the middle of the day working, and all of a sudden I would think, I want chocolate. And then eventually I would just get up, go to the cupboard, get some chocolate, eat more than I wanted to or what I was planning on, and then I would come back and realize I do not have the ability to say no to these chocolates. So I had to do two things to overcome that. The first thing that I had to do was I had to get all of the foods out of the house that I knew were too tempting for me to eat. So I basically did a full clean out of my cupboards. I took out all my chocolate. I didn't buy ice cream to put in the freezer anymore. I didn't keep things in the house that I knew were trigger foods for me, that I knew that if I had one, I was going to have too many. The rule that I gave myself was, if you really want to treat that bad, you can go out, drive to the store or drive to the fast food restaurant, and you can buy that item and you can eat it. That way the food wasn't 20 feet away from me, where it was really easy for me to just get up and go grab it in the moment when I was having a moment of weakness. Instead, if I really was craving something and I really wanted it, I had full permission to go out and get it. Now, the interesting thing is, I don't remember one time ever leaving the house to go get that item. So that hack has saved me so much in terms of not having to try to overcome my momentary craving of wanting something that's not on my plan. Now, the second thing that I had to do to be able to make this work was I had to start keeping foods in the house that I enjoyed, but that were also on my plan. That included things like alternatives. So instead of having Hershey Kisses in the house, instead I opted to have some Lily's chocolate in the house, which was no sugar added chocolate. And for some reason, I never felt the same temptation to overeat on that chocolate that I did with the Hershey's chocolate. So for me, that worked because I could still have a couple pieces of that every day. It was within my keto plan, and I never felt the compulsion to eat too much of it. Now, this is where you have to know yourself. So if you can't have any kind of chocolate in the house because you'll binge on it, then that's something you're not going to be able to keep in the house. If you want to be serious about not giving into temptation and not eating things that aren't on your plan so that you're not gaining weight from those things. Another alternative that I had was I used to love chips and nachos. So now I opt for Quest chips. I can melt some cheese on there, which is keto friendly. I can add any types of tomatoes or lettuce on there if I want to. Sour cream is low carb. And then I can just enjoy a plate of nachos, but the Quest chips are within my plan. They're low carb. And again, I just don't get that temptation to overeat on those like I did with the actual real processed chips and potato chips. And with the combination of those two things, I no longer have to rely on my own willpower because it's not in the house, it's not easy for me to get to, and it makes it a lot easier for me to stick to my plan. And now I've been doing it for so long, it's become a habit. I don't even think about it anymore now that none of that's in the house. Now, if you're interested in learning more about how I've lost this 27 pounds in the last year, over 50 years old, when nothing else was working, I'm going to put some videos up here in the end screen for you to watch. Let me know how your weight loss journey is going down in the comments. Are you just starting out? Are you in the middle of it? Or are you getting close to your goal? Anything that you want to share down in the comments, I would love to hear about it.